everyone, and welcome back to another Tuesday here at the Progress Report with me, your host, Dee Sage.
Happy Tuesday, guys.
Happy Tuesday. And as you see, I got my good old amigo, my buddy, my pal, the one, the only, Taylor Neptune.
That me. Hey, guys.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Can't complain.
It's been a while.
I know.
It's been a while. Well, I mean, the last time I hosted a show with you, I co-hosted was on your show, Tea with Time with Taylor.
Yeah. You were with me for Tea with Taylor.
Yes, that was fun.
And we've had our little rendezvous since then. It's been a while since I've been with you guys at the Progress Report. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. Have you been watching, though?
Of course.
Yeah.
I have to see if anyone upstages me.
Really? Really? With the entire hair flip?
The 100% entire hair flip.
Anyway, so I did something interesting this weekend.
What'd you do?
I went camping.
It's awful.
In Vermont.
I'm so sorry.
Listen, you know, this is my second time going camping. And, you know, the first time I went camping, I said, you know, all right, I'll give it a try. And it rained on the Saturday. It rained.
I remember you doing coffee with Dee in the rain.
I did coffee with Dee in the rain. It was just pouring down like a flood. And it was just like, ah! It was like Mother Nature walked everywhere. So, but yeah, so I was like, but I still had fun because it wasn't cold. You know what I mean? It wasn't cold. And then we go to Vermont, the good old mountains and hills of Vermont.
Good old.
And let me just tell you, it was cold. It was cold. You know what? It's so crazy because when they say brothers don't like the cold,
it's very true. It's
so true.
Unfortunately true.
I just, you know, I mean, it was fun. I had fun with the people because the people made it fun and things like that. But it was cold,
of course.
And then it rained when we had to pack up. So
you were like over it.
Oh, I was done. So my new rule is I will only camp between June 1st and October 1st. Anything before or after that,
I agree with
unless it's cabining, unless it's like cabining in the woods with some hot cocoa.
Give me a good cabin anytime, I'm good. But like, no.
You gotta go tent camping sometime. No?
Maybe. We'll see.
You pitch the tent.
You guys will know about it before I do because it'll probably be a social media experiment or something. Other than that, I will tenting.
If you go camping with me, I'm definitely recording it.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Oh, boy. That's something to be aware of then. Good Lord.
So, I know tonight we had promoted that we were supposed to have, it was supposed to be somebody else as my guest host, you know. But, you know, Taylor came in and jumped in for me. And then I also had a special guest today, Tammy Brown. Unfortunately, Tammy Brown cannot be with us. She was supposed to be here tonight, and she was arrested. Not for nothing bad, in my opinion. Ooh. She protested the Justice Barrett's. Yeah.
Yes.
You know what she did?
That's good.
You know what she did?
What she did?
She did some classic stuff.
What
she chained herself.
Do you see this image?
You see what she did right here? She chained herself. That's old school protesting right there.
Old school.
That's old school protesting. Like
And the thing I like about it is that you didn't hear anything about it. It wasn't like something that was like
It
promoted.
should have been national.
It wasn't something that was promoted. Like, we're gonna riot or we're gonna protest.
Well, I mean, first of all,
there was nothing promoted about that. She just decided, like, I'm doing this.
I mean, let's be real. Everybody knows that Justice Barrett's appointment is nothing but a political move from Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. And you know what? I believe it shows when the only justice to show to her confirmation was Justice Thomas. Not even the Chief Justice.
Yeah,
wouldn't you think that the Chief Justice of all people would have been there? Wait, Brett Kavanaugh didn't even show up. And that's your boy, Trump. He
pitiful.
Remember,
it's actually pitiful.
It is pitiful.
It's actually pitiful.
Remember Brett Kavanaugh?
Yeah. How could you forget?
I like beer.
Yeah, I like beer.
I like beer.
Like an American. What?
I like American beer.
What? Who are you? What's happening?
He didn't show up, you know? Or Gorsuch. Neil Gorsuch didn't show up.
And for me, it was the inaugurating at the White House for me, as the millennials would say. Because I'm old now. But it's the inauguration at the White House for me. Like,
at the White House, not even at the.
Someone had, I forget who it was, but I read someone actually called them out for this. Like, not being, if we're doing it at the White House, it's never been at the White House.
It's never been at the White House, and all of a sudden we're having it here at the White House.
Why?
Oh, it has been, according to our producer. According to Ken, he told me it has been.
Oh! I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
I was just like, that seems a little bit sketchy.
I'm glad he corrected me.
I'm like, that seems a little sketchy. Just saying.
It still is sketchy.
Just saying.
At the White House, one other time.
Just saying.
In all of the existence of America, one other time they had it not. I just. First of all, Dee Sage, get your facts straight.
No.
That's all you're gonna get. That's all you're gonna get. I just can't. I just need next Tuesday to happen. I truly need next Tuesday to happen. And if you have not gotten out to vote, please get out and vote. Just a reminder, if anybody can take their time right now to make sure that they share this video, like our Facebook page, visit our website at www.theprogresschannel.com for more information on what's coming up, because we have something big coming up for next week. I can't wait for next week.
Oof.
Oh my goodness,
it's gonna be very interesting.
I don't want to spoil the surprise.
I know,
but you get 2 hours of me next week. You're welcome.
Oh boy.
No.
Oh boy. And one of the biggest...
Merry Christmas. 2 hours of me.
One of the biggest campaigns for at least this generation is happening. So that's going to be something to see.
That is going to be something to see. And you guys all know you need to make sure you vote Joe Biden. Oh, did I say that out loud?
Yes, you did.
Oh, sorry. Kermit the Frog.
Well, yeah, that person. With that being said, we were also we were also very I don't know, surprised or intrigued about the next topic.
Yes, we are. And you know what? We have someone special to my heart, and I hope to everyone else's heart. Actually, I made a phone call to get somebody to come in and talk to us about
literally an hour before this.
Just about. And he picked up the phone and said, "Brother D, I got you." And you know what? I thank God that he was able to. But my pastor from Powerhouse, Boston, Pastor Jody T. Allison, is here with us today. How are you doing, Pastor Allison?
Hey, how are you? I'm doing amazing. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I can't complain. I can't complain. Sorry if the monologue got a little dicey on you. I'm sorry about that. But,
you guys are fun.
we like to chat.
Yeah, we do like to
Kiki, as the girls say.
As the girls say, let's have a kai.
Let's have a kai. So I couldn't think of anyone better to even weigh in on this next topic than you, Pastor Jody. The Pope approving same-sex civil unions was a very, very big topic this week. But also locally, we had our Providence Bishop Tobin pushing back with that announcement being made. Pope Francis has declared support for civil unions for same-sex couples for the first time, according to the Catholic News Agency. And in a quote saying, "Homosexual people have a right to be in a family. They're children of God and have a right to a family. Nobody should be thrown out or made miserable over it. What we have to create is a civil union law. That way we are legally covered." And even when speaking to Dion and many of my other friends and people in the community, that's probably one of the highest ranked reasons to have a civil union to begin with, or else why would we be fighting for it? Bishop Tobin, however, of the Providence Diocese, responded, "The Holy Father's apparent support for the recognition of civil unions for same-sex couples needs to be clarified. The Pope's statement clearly contradicts what has been the long-standing teaching of the Church about same-sex unions. The Church cannot support the acceptance of objectively immoral relationships. Individuals with same-sex attractions are beloved children of God and must have their personal human rights and civil rights recognized and protected by law. However, the legalization of civil unions, which seek to simulate holy matrimony is not admissible. And with that quote, I feel like he just completely contradicted himself. But I'm going to let you speak, Pastor Jody Allison, and let us know what you think about that.
Yeah. Well, thank you again, you both, for having me on. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate what you all are doing here with Progress Report. I remember in its infancy, when it was just kind of being conceived, and seeing where you guys are really taking this at. I commend you for doing this. And I look forward. I'm assuming, I'm going to give a stab at it. I'm assuming next week you're going to be keeping us abreast to all the election results. I'm assuming. So I look forward to whatever
we
next
have some things in store for you guys.
But I think it's important that when we're looking at the Pope's quote, I think it's important that we abstract one thing that he said repetitively throughout his conversation, in his approach to this discussion. He said the word right many times, two to be exact. But that word right is the root of this conversation. It is the root of many conversations as it pertains to same-sex marriages. And it is something that is causing more discussions. So right in being used in this context is being expressed in what is morally correct. The Pope's argument is saying that homosexual people have the moral correct standing, right? The moral authority to get married, to have a family. The rebuttal that we have, that you've been so kind to bring up through the bishop here in Rhode Island, but the rebuttal that many people have given within the church community is that we do not, same-gender loving people do not have the moral correct standing. And me, as a openly gay, openly affirming, happily married, I just actually celebrated my 1-year anniversary to my wonderful, amazing, loving, talented.
I love to hear it.
Yes.
I challenge any notion of anyone telling me that I do not have the moral ability to make a decision necessary for me. The Pope's stance is not one that he is saying, well, the church is going to make a change. He's not saying that, but it is a step forward in the right direction, where we start talking about how humans, how we people have the agency to make the right decision for ourselves, right? We have the agency, the ability to make that right decision. When we look at even more closely to that word, right, we look at the Latin derivative of it, and we see that Latin root of it, rectus, literally pulls in ruled. So the ruling authority dictates what is right. Now, I hope I'm not getting scholarly and biblical on you all, but the ruling
preach. No, that's fine. Taylor missed Bible study last week anyway.
Last week and the week before.
It dictates what is right. So if we are to argue that the Pope is saying that we have the right, he's now going against the tradition of the church and saying that the church has been historically wrong on this. And this is where we're getting the huge problem at. But this is not new. So we can't think that this thing is new. Just last year,
objectively immoral is quite the statement.
Say again?
To say that he will not accept an objectively immoral relationship, that's quite the statement.
Right.
Because you're saying in one hand that it's immoral in your eyes, and that also you're not going to take any kind of action to promote that because of what you think.
I think the overall, the big thing is, let's talk about it. You look at the Pope's the last part. What we have to create is a civil union law. That way they are legally covered. I think it's more so not just that statement. He also made a statement of human rights, to sit here because all around the world, people who are homosexual or who are gay, bisexual, lesbian, transgender, or queer, IA plus, even some of our allies are ridiculed for being part of the community or anything. In many countries, you can't even, if you get caught doing something gay, you get persecuted.
Seriously.
You get executed.
Seriously.
You know.
Yeah.
So I think with the Pope, because of the standing of the Catholic Church and how big the Catholic Church is worldwide, being number one in Christian, with the most Christianity followers as a whole, I think it's big for the Pope to stand up and say, well, as far as the Vatican's concerned, they're God's children, and we need to create laws.
This
to
is
protect.
moral. This is what's happening.
This is what's happening. But for Bishop Tobin to sit here and basically say to his boss, "No, you're wrong."
Right.
In a way, it's insubordination. Yeah. Right.
And it's not new. You know, it's not new.
Right.
We've seen this played out just last year with United Methodist Church. You know, and them being divided along the lines of who's right about this. You know, like. Who should be protected? Who should be married? So this isn't new. You know, we may have even saw the church split this year had it not been for the pandemic. You know, their conference was pushed back into August or September of 2021. So we'll see. We're waiting to see what will happen from that. But in all of this, I really think that we have one responsibility, and that is to do everything we can to honor each other, right? To honor our neighbor. And I think the Pope's approach is saying, hey, we have to make sure people are protected, right? Let's make sure that we're doing everything to honor each other by protecting. If they're going to love each other, let's give them the same laws, the same support that we will give to anyone else. Let's start there. And I think the church for many years have gone astray with pushing doctrine before anything else. And when we push doctrine above anything else, we lose people because we become not tangible anymore. And so this Pope has really taken a step back and saying, hey, well, we understand what our doctrine beliefs are, but we have to make sure that we are addressing the needs of today. But like I said earlier, this isn't a new conversation. It's not. No. It is something that Powerhouse Boston that we are continually fighting for. We're fighting for same-sex rights. We're fighting for us to be acknowledged, for us to be accepted, for us to be affirmed. Yeah. So go ahead, Brother D. I'm sorry.
So I had a question, but I also wanted to tie in because I wanted you to get the ad in for Powerhouse.
Yeah.
Powerhouse.
You gotta get the plug. You gotta get the plug.
Listen, first
you gotta get the plug.
Listen. Don't listen.
This powerful voice needs to get the plug.
So, like you had said with the United Methodist Church last year, and also now we see with the Catholic Church, we have also seen it with the Episcopal Church, where they are now having this, becoming more tolerant, acceptable of people who are homosexual coming to church. Could it also be, and dare I say it, a business also motive for them? Because they could be losing a lot of people in the church because they were preaching the spirit of rejection versus... Sorry, not didn't mean to say spirit, but because they were preaching rejection versus preaching God's real word, God's true word of love and prosperity.
Yeah, there is a fine line, and when I'm thinking about that question, I think about what people said about Joe Biden picking Senator Kamala Harrison to be his running mate. Like, was that the easy choice? Was that the right choice? Right? The Pope stepping out and saying this challenges. It puts that same notion. Was this a political, statement? Was this right? Was this easy? Who knows? But what I do know is, looking at history, this was not an easy decision. This was the Pope saying, enough is enough. We've had enough with this. This is the right decision. I am challenging you all to look at something that is more moral, right? He is calling our moral compass to be led in a way that has not been challenged. I'm not Catholic, right? So I don't follow that same, that his, I've already been there where he's already at. I'm already there, right?
Yeah.
Say that.
Yeah, most of us are actually.
For those that have not been there, this is challenging them to look at the way that they have been navigating the way they approach people who are other, right? How they approach people who are not like them, and are saying, hey, everyone deserves the same protections that you have, right? And when we stop otherizing people and we see the humanity in other people, we can make progress. Hence,
Amen.
progress report, right? We can make some. So yeah,
Some progress. There
See,
you
I like
go.
you see you put that plug
There you
in
go.
there.
He
You see
put
I
that plug
you see I
right
put that
in
plug
there.
in there?
Yeah.
That's that. You to Morehouse, right, Pastor?
absolutely. Yeah.
That's that Morehouse right there. That's that Morehouse. All right.
He's like, I'm on the progress report, right?
So, Pastor Jody, last, but
Yes.
I can't have you on here without talking about Powerhouse and everything. I am a member of Powerhouse Church, and I don't want to be biased or anything, but I truly enjoy myself. One, I enjoy myself, and I feel the spiritual growth I've been going through. Can you just just give us a plug-in for Powerhouse, and all that, and yeah,
Etc.
Yeah,
etc.
absolutely. Again, we are affirming, we are loving, we are here to make sure that you reach your call, whatever that call is. And so, besides all of that, we want to make sure that you're on your compass to success. And so, I have the pleasure of pastoring the church here in Boston, but we have churches within our network all around the U.S. And so, if you have if you're watching from anywhere around the country, feel free. We may have a church near you that could affirm you, that will love you, that will marry you, and make sure that you are doing what is uniquely gifted for you. But hopefully soon we'll do something closer to Rhode Island, and we'll have some events where people who are in this area can come out and just fellowship with us as well. So I've really appreciated my time on here. I really appreciated you both. You guys are dynamic in what you're creating here. I think you're a great team.
Thank you.
And so this is amazing. So yes, I enjoyed it. Thank you.
We'll have to drag you out to Providence at some point soon.
Absolutely.
But thank you so much, Pastor. Please give First G Robert my love and all that. And until our next conversation, thank you. Well, I love you. God bless.
Absolutely. Bye-bye. Love you all too. Bye.
Thank you.
I love my pastor.
Well then.
So with all that said, we're going to go to a quick commercial break, and we got some more to talk about. And we're back.
Hey, guys.
Hey, thank you so much to Pastor Jody for coming in today, last minute and talking to us. And
That was amazing.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the conversation. He weighed in on that topic, like in a way that we probably couldn't.
You know, you know what, and you're right. You know, and I think that's also what the progress report is all about. You know,
Oh, yeah.
let's reach out to those communities. You know, and you know, being an openly gay pastor who's married to his husband and pastor of an affirming church.
Yeah,
that's a marginalized community because you know I've seen where the bishop of that church has been ridiculed on YouTube.
Oh, of course.
You know,
of course.
But they keep going on, and you know what? And that's what one reason why I'm a member is because I totally believe in the ministry. So
as you should.
Just quick plug in there, okay? Not to get all churchy on you guys. Okay, all right. So so I have the honor of now interviewing the fourth candidate for city council in Woonsocket, and this is wonderful because I think now I've interviewed all 4 progressive candidates running in Woonsocket.
Oh wow!
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's true.
Can I get a can? Can I get a hand clap?
Did we get a gold sticker?
A gold sticker? No, I mean I had Alex Kithis, and then I had Charmaine. No, I had Alex Kithis, Charmaine Webster, Marlene Guy, and now I have the pleasure of speaking with Mr. Vaughn Miller. So, without further ado, Mr. Vaughn Miller.
All right, nice to meet you guys. It's an honor to be on the show.
Vaughn, thank you so much. A week before election, I know you're getting ready to gear up.
Thank you.
Because you guys have, if I'm not mistaken, it's what am I looking? What's the word I'm looking for? You guys don't run by wards. You guys are at large city council.
I'm like, only you and Jesus know what you were gonna say.
Only me and Jesus know what I'm gonna say. You know what? I can't with them, y'all. I don't even know why I even let me up here. I just don't understand. You know,
this is why.
Like,
this is why.
Hold on one second, Vaughn. Let me talk to you guys for a moment.
Oh God. He's getting his close up moment.
Let me talk to you guys.
No.
This is as close as I can get right now.
No.
This is as close as I can get.
No, Vaughn, I'm so sorry you have to see this.
Okay. Yeah, are we getting closer to the camera? Is that just slowly just
slowly getting closer?
Okay.
Yep. It won't happen perceptibly. It's just every minute I'm just an inch closer to the screen.
Yeah.
I love it. So Vaughn, tell us why you decided to run for city council.
Honestly, I decided to run for city council because I attended a city council meeting. I saw that the kind of unproductive, unprofessional, and frankly disgraceful behavior. I first spoke out against naming a park after, or it was a track and field complex after John Dion, who had come out had come out at the time as a white nationalist on the radio. So it seemed like a no-brainer to just be like, hey, we probably shouldn't name things after someone who espouses a hateful ideology.
Right.
And the city council, and the city council majority disagreed. And that's what first got it into my head that, you know what, I at first I was like, anyone could do better than this. And then my first thought is, if no one else is going to do better than this, then I guess I have to try.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why I ran.
Nice.
So you're also running with all those people that we pre-mentioned a few minutes ago that we've interviewed as well. So do you think that may be like a plus or a minus working in a group with these people, or how does that dynamic work for you?
Honestly, I don't think we would have been able to do it. Like, Alex, maybe. The rest of us, absolutely not. We would not have been able to run on our own without the knowledge and expertise and networks that
you
Alex
got Chairman Webster, Marlene Guay, Alex Keys.
Oh yeah, and they all contribute. And Marlene being a teacher and cooking up our educational policies, Alex being an engineer, along with my technical expertise working on what a modern power grid might look like going into the future as we move further away from fossil fuels and more towards renewable energies.
Mm-hmm. That is, that's a very undermentioned thing that is super important.
So, what do you see as Woonsocket's biggest issue?
Woonsocket's biggest issue? I mean, you could take your pick, but I think what COVID... honestly, at this point, it's COVID and its myriad effects.
Do you really want to take my pick? That's a long... No, I'm joking. I love Woonsocket. No. I love the bowling alley in Woonsocket.
Yeah. No, and it's very much a addressing that, and especially in terms of schools, we're already the most underfunded per capita school district in Rhode Island.
I was unaware of that.
It's something like a $2,200 deficit per child, which means that our schools are underfunded and notorious.
Yeah.
And I think that's something we need to address. And if I had to pick a most important topic, it would be, ensuring that the next generation to live in Woonsocket is adequately prepared for the world.
Yeah, and then with schools reopening, already being underfunded, with now being having COVID be a thing, do you think that affected the Woonsocket school district differently? Also, do you think that affected your campaign and how it's being run?
As for how it affected schools, of course it affected schools. There's how many kids have to stay home, or how many kids have to only go to school like 1 or 2 days out of the week if they go with a revolving cycle. It changes the way education happens, and it changes the mediums it has to go through, and it changes which systemic barriers prevent people from getting a solid education.
Absolutely.
And right now what we're seeing is that people who lack internet access, people who lack computers in their house, how are they supposed to go to online school if they can't get online?
Right. And these programs are already, as you mentioned, underfunded.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And so we can see all these inequities, and if it's underfunded, we can't do anything about them. We have to just sit back and let it happen until a new budget passes, which I don't want to do. I don't think anyone wants to do. But yeah.
So
and I was going to say, as for how it changed campaigning, it changed it from us canvassing probably significantly earlier than we started to essentially we had to test the waters and make sure that we had all the proper information, followed all the right COVID guidelines, to open up an office, to have volunteers come in, to even the requirements to go like, all right, what do you have to do if you're going to knock people's doors? Do you have to stand back?
And those guidelines are consistently changing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true. And that it's created an ongoing challenge. I feel in some ways it definitely shifted towards a more online heavy presence, or basically we had to go through new social media to try and reach out to people initially. And I think that was really the beginning of the campaign. It was just a couple social media pages and trying to gather support as easily or as proactively as we could.
So and the crazy thing is I worked on a campaign. I got to work on the field. Yes. And I've been working on campaigns since 2010 behind the scenes. I managed my first campaign in 2010.
Miss Tiara.
We got
I had too.
Miss Tiara was the recent one.
Miss Tiara was the recent one.
So are you Tiara Mac? Tiara Mac?
Yeah.
Yes, I was on Tiara Mac's campaign, but before that, my first campaign was Davion Sanchez City Council Ward 11, and we won in 2010, lost in 2014, but I had gotten the youngest city council person. He was the youngest elected
nice
person of color in the country at the time.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, that's really how young was he?
I did that. He was 21.
That'll do it. Yeah.
Yes.
I think Zach Colon was only 21. I think.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was looking. There's another young person that I hope to get on the show soon, and I'm very happy to see that a lot of young people that put in for candidacies. This time around. But with all that said, you were a veteran of the U.S. Navy. I want to thank you for your service personally.
Well, thank you for your support.
I have a brother who's a Marine. My uncle served in the Air Force, and anytime another uncle was a Marine, and
my aunt was a Marine.
So I have family members, and like I said, my little brother, I hope he's watching. I love you, little bro. Be safe out there, and he's a Marine, and I constantly pray for him and think about him all the time. And I thank him, and I appreciate the service that you guys do to our country to keep us safe, and also to ensure safeties for other people.
The things we will not do.
I appreciate that. Well, so with that said, do you think this has helped you prepare for elected office? And if so, how?
Yes, it has. And way in uncountable numbers of ways. Honestly, it's been a high stress environment, and I've seen a lot of people's reaction to it. And I was always wondering, like, am I just underreacting? Am I internalizing it? It turns out, no. Being in the military allowed me to see much more stressful situations. So you just get used to it. And
I'm
what I learned is,
sure you've seen a lot worse.
what it works out to being is, you can get used to about any condition.
It's true.
And there's not a lot more taxing things than deployments, but and in a lot of ways, in other ways, deployments are very simple. It's very structured. It's organized. There's always a schedule, and you just have to be in the right places at the right times, doing the right things, and that's all you have to worry about. Food's going to be in the same place every time.
Very true.
And it essentially gives you a very a comprehensive crash course in how every single way stress can affect you, because you'll find them all.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
And and honestly, I think that aspect of being a veteran has definitely been helpful, especially running for politics and learning. Yeah. But yeah,
how you deal with stress accurately depicts the kind of person you are. I've learned that over the years, that of meeting different kinds of people, different environments, how you deal with stress depicts your character.
You know, the crazy thing is, the older I get, the less I can deal with stress.
Oh yeah, no, that's the thing. Like when you're older, you have less of a.
Like, when I was younger, I had a little bit more patience for it.
Yeah, I'm known for being very level-headed in stressful situations, and I noticed meeting other people who aren't, that it stands out as a part of your character how you deal with that said stress. So I pay attention to it now.
Oh yeah, but, you have to find the source of the stress, and you have to adequately address it. And that's what I've learned consistently over the years.
For sure.
There's no way you can hold it all in until a convenient time and then let it all out. You have to learn to learn how to proactively sort of take the stress hit and then put it towards useful ends, and don't let it turn into a self-destructive energy in you.
Right, because it could easily turn into that. So I mean, we're talking about, earlier, your group that you're the slate that you are running with. If they all do win, you'll have majority of the city council. So what steps are you or your slate planning on taking to make sure that the minority is still heard and feeling empowered?
Oh yeah, we absolutely wouldn't want to bully the minority part of the council, and frankly, we'd rather have their support than work actively against them the entire time. We are very much our slate as a whole is very much about collaboration and working to establish a new working norm for Woonsocket city government, and we can't effectively do that if we aren't willing to reach out and listen to other people every once in a while. They also ran for city council and won, so their opinion and their constituents who voted for them matter.
Right, 100%.
So your campaign page says you want to hold police accountable.
Yes.
How do you intend to do this?
How we intend to hold police accountable is essentially we have to examine the role they play in our society. We have to examine what police are called to do, because they're called to perform a lot of different jobs, a lot of different things. Sometimes they're playing the work of a guidance counselor. Other times it's or otherwise it's a SWAT raid. Sometimes it's counseling some kid about to jump off a bridge down. There's so many different aspects of the job, and so many different key vital talents or traits or learned skills that I don't think we're adequately preparing our police to handle. Essentially, we've given them a hammer, and so and by continuing, I mean, even across the country, the militarization of police has gotten out of hand. It's
completely.
I mean, yeah, and you'll see cops rolling down not necessarily in Woonsocket, but you'll see cops with APCs, cops with vast armories of riot gear,
and these are the people that have had the least amount of time to train to uphold the law.
Yes,
based off of other people in this field of study.
Well, I've
cops have had the least amount of time to prepare for this, but yet they enforce it with such authority, and no one can deny that.
And the point you raise is important. If these people are not adequately trained or adequately educated in the actual structure and intents of the law, then how are they going to enforce it? And if they don't have knowledge, should they be allowed to have that unquestionable authority on it?
Right.
And the answer to the question is either increased training, which time and time again has proven not to work, or we have to dramatically restructure the role of police in our society.
Oh, absolutely. I think the entire system needs to be dramatically restructured. But honing it in just a little bit, your slate also has made promise to work towards a ward-based system.
Yes.
Do you want to explain to us what that is and why that's important?
A ward-based system is essentially it would split the city into 7 equal segments, and what warding the city would require would be that every member of council is drawn from a distinct ward. So each part of the city is represented at the table in terms of city council matters. And honestly, why we feel this is important is because we feel over the years, or at least historically, a lot of the same more wealthy neighborhoods have consistently been in control of the council. Like over and over again, it's the same families of people coming from the same parts of the city. And we feel that is not representative of Woonsocket. That it isn't an accurate measure or an accurate thermometer of, the wants and needs of the city.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Excuse me.
Dee's having a moment.
I was a little lost at words. I'm sorry. So you recently were endorsed by Senator Bernie Sanders.
Yes, that was. Some people, my campaign manager knew about it before I did. I had no idea it was coming. And so when I got the email, my first thought was, okay, this has to be spam. There's no way Bernie Sanders would be like, oh, yeah, this guy.
This is spam.
He said, Vaughn Miller, I want to tell you that I like what you're doing out there in Woonsocket. And it's great. Like, it's wonderful. You're working for the 99%. And that's that.
And I was, it was essentially.
Give me a pastrami on rye when I come to Rhode Island.
Oh God, no! That's another person. I can't wait to meet his hand and wonder if he even recognizes me. I can't wait to shake his hand.
Probably not.
He'll be like, "Who is this guy? Vaughn who? Vaughn who?
Vaughn who?
He'll still greet you, but he'll be like,
"You need a cough drop. I got an extra button."
It's like he'll be super nice, and then when I'm looking away, he'll be like, "This guy."
Who are you again?
But yeah,
no, that's awesome.
You gotta stay humble.
Awesome.
You gotta
that
stay
must have
humble.
been like some campaign momentum. Wait,
absolutely.
Bernie Sanders, the Bernie Sanders, senator from Vermont.
Beyond, it was beyond exciting to hear, and I'm still not entirely convinced it's real. But the more posts I see from Bernie's Facebook page, the more I'm like, okay, no, this is real. Okay, we did this.
It's fake news. Fake news.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just sitting there like, there's fake stuff on the internet all the time.
Congratulations.
I thought I got contacted by Tyra Banks, so there's definitely fake news.
Hey, I've definitely been conned out of money before, so.
Oh God. But with that being said, of course, I want to bring it to the other end of the spectrum, so to speak. You attended the first Pride flag raising in Woonsocket,
yes.
And then days after that, the main pole it was moved from the main pole in Market Square. How does that make you feel?
Honestly, how it makes me feel as a cisgender heterosexual white man, it's devastating to see because it was, if nothing else, it was a symbol of inclusiveness. It was a symbol of telling people they belong. And I've been enough places in the world that all people want is somewhere that they belong.
Right.
And to deny anyone that on the base just because you don't agree with some what's ultimately to them superfluous aspect of your lifestyle. It's completely, it angers me. That's as concisely as I can put it.
It's fine. If you wanted to say it's completely bullshit, that was completely fine.
And it's
coming.
I
seen it coming out.
I saw it,
but I'll say it for you. It's completely bullshit.
And that's coming from a cis
I agree
white
with
male, y'all.
And
white male,
cisgendered. Listen, he said cisgendered white heterosexual male.
Boom.
That's what that's coming from.
And that's coming from there. So
and that's and I can't pretend my experience is authoritative on the subject. I consider myself an ally first and foremost. But and then what's important is allowing people in that community to have a voice and to feel that sense of belonging. And I would love for this city to be a place where they can feel that.
Right.
Nice.
That's the goal.
So Vaughn, I got a couple of fun questions to ask you to relax a little bit. So I see that headset on you. Oh wait, first question I ask everyone, and then I'll ask about the headset. Is what is your comfort food at the moment? Like something that you can just eat?
Okay, my comfort food at the moment is Ben and Jerry's Netflix and Chill. It's
yes!
Oh my god!
Peanut butter.
I got some of that in the refrigerator at home.
I've heard so much about this.
Okay, it's peanut butter ice cream with fudge brownies and a salty pretzel swirl. So you're getting like a salted peanut butter caramel flavor. And it's
my
amazing.
coworkers, my good friend, my neighbor even was like, "Have you had this Netflix and Chill?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" So I got introduced to it, and I'm not going. I'm not looking back.
It is. I can't go back.
I love that ice cream.
I mean, B&J's.
AF.
Wait.
But
listen. You know what? I'm gonna have some of that as soon as I get out. It's on.
You've done something now.
Listen,
that's fine.
I got it sitting in the refrigerator. I haven't opened it.
And honestly, the cool thing about Ben and Jerry's.
Well, the freezer. I meant the refrigerator freezer.
That's gross.
I will say the coolest thing about
there's
it.
Nothing wrong with little.
That's milk.
It's
at
cream.
This point.
Little cream.
Gross.
Ice cream. No.
My sister's lactose. Well, she's allergic to milk for whatever reason. Just doesn't agree with it. It's beyond like lactose intolerant. But yeah, the cool thing about Ben and Jerry's is pretty much every flavor. They also have a dairy-free version.
They do. They do have the Netflix and Chill dairy free, which I noticed.
We just gave an endorsement to Vermont.
Hey, Ben and Jerry's.
Yeah, B&J's.
You're cool.
How y'all doing?
You keep y'all deliver me back. It's like Vermont. It gives me Bernie Sanders. I give them back Ben and Jerry's.
We'll take Bernie Sanders and Ben and Jerry's for $500, please. Thank you.
All day from Vermont and the hills. Because I went camping in Vermont. Them hills in the morning were beautiful out there in Vermont. Vermont, y'all got it. Listen, I might move and be one of the only brothers living in the hills.
Don't do it. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Don't you dare.
Throwing big old barbecues.
Don't you dare.
Get Uncle Pete and them
you're
to come up with
you're gonna be the first brown person to get
as someone. Okay, so have you lived in Providence most of your life, actually, or
yes, I have. Yes,
okay, so you're familiar with the city. I'm familiar. I was born in backwoods Pennsylvania. My one piece of advice about moving to the middle of nowhere: absolutely don't. Never do it.
Just don't.
He said, "Don't do it. Just don't. Don't do it. It ain't worth it.
Stay in civilization. Stay where there's streetlights. Stay where there's streetlights and sidewalks.
Georgia, Atlanta, and any parts of those places that you go too far in the wrong direction, you're gonna wish you didn't.
That's true, yeah.
So
it's
it goes.
I'm gonna keep my butt right here in Providence. You're right.
It goes right from or it goes from this is quaint, pleasant country to deliverance very quickly.
Right, very quick.
But my second question is, I see that headset right there. Are you a gamer?
Yes, I am. I do.
I'm not a big gamer. I used to play games. I used to play video games, but I have a lot of friends, and I know some of my followers out there are video gamers. What's your favorite game to play just to hang out?
Just to hang out, honestly. I've been playing a lot of Among Us lately, mostly because it's.
Oh, okay.
You can play. It's like a 10-minute round, and I have no time anymore. So
I honestly fully expected a Call of Duty response with that headset.
No. If it was Call of. Nah, this is a $20 headset. It's fine. I got it.
He said no.
Not with this headset.
This is not top of the line gear. This is it's
he said, not with this headset. I do not play Call of Duty with this headset.
I
see the
get
headset
it.
I have a Call of Duty.
I refuse to disrespect the craft like that.
No, I get it. I absolutely get it.
Nice,
Thank you.
Nice. Well, Vaughn, I want to thank you for coming in today. I know it was short notice, and you came right in, and thank you so much for coming in today. I truly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. And next week, those of you out there in Woonsocket, you seen? I interviewed all 4 candidates.
All 4.
Alex Kithis, Charmaine Webster, Marlene Guy, and Vaughn Miller. Get out and vote if you haven't already voted. Okay? But with that said, Vaughn, thank you so much for coming in. And I have to give you your grade. And
oh boy.
What?
It's not going to be an A. We all know that.
It's an A-.
Oh man. A minus. I'll take. You know what? That's A minus. That's enough for Dean's List.
Okay.
Because that means you still have to. You have to work.
Yeah, you got a little bit of work.
I got work to go. I got room to climb. I have to stay humble.
Right. Exactly. See, he understands the point of why I do.
Stay humble, be down. That's
exactly.
it. Just stay humble, be down.
Vaughn, thank you so much for being here.
And thank you for having me. It's an honor.
All right. Thank you again. Good luck out there.
All right. Thank you.
Peace.
All right. Take it easy.
Oh my God, I totally got you doing peace to everyone now.
Peace. Oh, I do peace on Coffee with D.
Oh, you do. You're right.
So with
I'm
that
gonna
said,
take credit. But
we'll be right back.
there we are.
There we are.
There we
Hi.
go. Hey,
And
guys.
we're back. So next week you're back, right?
Next week I'll be back to talk about the election with you guys.
We have a wonderful show. A long but wonderful show. I can't wait.
They're synonymous this time.
I mean, we have a really good panel going, but there's one person on the panel that I'm coming for.
Oh,
Brett
Jacobs.
Brett Jacob.
I had no idea.
I'm coming for you. Just for you. Next week. On the Progress Report with Dee Sage. No.
Now.
With all that said. So I think today was a really good show.
Yeah.
Pastor Jody. It was great to have him on talking about what the Pope said versus what Bishop Tobin said. I just wish Bishop Tobin sometimes just...
Oh boy. You're going to hear this on Sunday.
Just sometimes just not talk. There's just certain people in the world that should not talk.
I think Bishop Tobin should have said more.
I think he should have said the right things. But there are certain people that should not be allowed to talk.
Okay, this is true.
You want me to go down the list?
No, because it's a long list.
It's really short.
You got a different list than I got.
It's very short. There's one person.
I got a lot of people that.
There's one person in the entire world that should not be allowed to speak.
Oh, that person.
He who must not be named.
Him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the him we're talking about is Mike Pence. No, I'm
Listen, Mike Pence is a sister underneath it all. We already see it.
We know. To be honest with you, when I watch the Powerpuff Girls and the character him comes out, I think Mike Pence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we get some casting?
If they do a Powerpuff live movie, Mike Pence plays him. Hi, kids.
Oh my gosh! With the crop top that he was wearing in that picture that they have.
Crop top.
Crop top.
First of all, doesn't Mike Pence look like he just came from conversion therapy?
Absolutely.
Every time he gets on stage, like he just left conversion therapy.
I'm like, what? This is why you're a fan of it. Okay, I get it. Now I get it.
What happened was in 1976.
1952.
1976. My ass was lightly grazed
by a kind sir.
Oh
God.
I got excited and then I went back to the altar and prayed, and that's where I met Mother.
Mother with
His
a capital
wife.
M.
He calls his wife what? Mother.
Oh my God, that's true. That's disturbing and also
I'm mad you forgot that. I told you that
I forgot. That's disturbing, but also true. He calls his wife Mother. Ugh. Yikes.
What is it? The Bernstein Bears? Mother, father, papa, sister, brother.
Oh.
Anyway, with all that said, thank you to my guest tonight, Pastor Jody T. Allison of Powerhouse Boston, and City Council candidate from Woonsocket, Vaughn Miller, and also
Number 4.
thank you. Huh?
Number 4.
All four. Hey. And thank you to my my co-host tonight, Taylor Neptune. I almost forgot his name. Taylor Neptune.
Right next to him.
Right next to me. And thank you to everyone out there. And with everything said, after all this, I'm going to say one last thing. In the words of the great Jennifer Lewis.
Oh no.
Get your ass out and vote!
Jennifer Lewis.
Because it's dependent on you. With all that said, good night, Rhode Island.
Good night, guys. Thanks for watching.